Hi, welcome to Everyone Can Jam. This is a place where everyone can learn to play music, and I'm your teacher, Janet Brockman, and today we're talking about the F chord. I just recorded another video called Easy F chord, and that is kind of a unusual shape you don't usually see in books or websites teaching you your beginner chords. I think that shape is a good place to start if you're just starting out with the F chord, but you do want to use the more traditional shapes. You're going to need them eventually. And so this video is just some tips and ideas to help you progress a little faster with learning the F chord. So one of the first things we need to talk about is how the brain learns music. The process for your brain of learning to play music is called motor skills acquisition. You have to move your muscles in a very specific way, and this is actually the exact same process for your brain as learning athletic skills. So it's been very well researched and documented how this process works, and it seems like coaches and athletic trainers seem to understand it better than most music teachers. But for example, when you go to your first golf lesson, if you simply hit the ball, that's success. We're not worried too much yet about exactly where the ball goes. If you don't hit the grass and you don't hit the air and you know, whack the ball real good, that's success. And I want to make sure you understand when you're learning new chord shapes. Say you go to this familiar F shape. I'm going to assume you've studied the shape and tried and you're familiar with this shape. You make your F shape and it sounds kind of plunky. That is success. If your fingers know the shape and they can get there pretty quickly, your fingers are on the right string, they're over the right fret, and it's still plunky, that's success. And you just need to keep doing it, and it's amazing how much your brain will make refinements for you without even you consciously thinking about it. So I tell my students about half the time, just play anyway, even if it sounds plunky and you're playing along and your other chords sound pretty good, but you get to your F, just make it anyway and keep going. And it's amazing, after a while it will get better, and then one of these times, wow, what did I just, oh, I let go. So this is what you don't do when it sounds good, when you get a good sounding F chord freeze, and don't move a thing, and study and be observant about, you know, what you're seeing here and what's working for you, and that'll help you too. Some tips to help you. So again, I'm assuming you're familiar with this shape. When your first finger squeezes the first and second string, notice this curve in my finger, okay? And notice how I'm using the side of my finger, not the, you know, not that part, but it's kind of, it's not like this, it's rolled over on the side. I'm using the side of this finger on the third string and the side of this finger on the fourth string. This, see, it's not like this, it's kind of rolled over. This rolled over approach helps you with your C and your G7 as well. It helps with a lot of things. So that's one thing that's going to help you with your F chord. Let's see, we covered the brain, measuring your progress, rolling over. So that was the shape that you're probably going to see when you first study the F chord. And then there's the barred shape. Let's talk about the bar real quick. And this is, you know, a shape that can move, of course, because all the strings are being fretted. And it's important to remember, and what we're learning is going to help you with all your bar chords. Sometimes it's easy to think we have to squeeze with all our might across every single string, but you don't. This finger is fretting this string, so what's going on back here doesn't matter. This finger's taking care of that string. This finger's taking care of that string. This finger's taking care of that string. So all you're really trying to get is these two strings and this string with your bar. Okay, so, you know, if you ease up a little bit in there, that's okay. Here's another little trick that helps when you're first learning bar chords. It's a little harder to reach way down here than it is up here. It's harder to reach when your guitar is in this position. That's why classical players are like this. What I have down here is a a little footstool, but you can use anything. You can use your guitar case, you can use a coffee can, but get your left leg up, and if you're sitting, we can do this standing too. Get your guitar a little higher so your neck is at an angle. There's a reason why classical guitarists play this way, and that's because it's ergonomically, it's easier, you know, to make all these shapes. So if you, and so instead of starting in the 1st fret, we're going to start in the 5th fret. That makes it a little bit easier too. The frets are closer together and it's just physically easier. A little, try different frets and see which one's easiest for you. So again, just like when we put this finger down here, the finger that's barring is going to be kind of a little bit curved like that, okay? And it's going to be rolled over on the side. I'll show you up close too. And then these fingers can be a little bit on the side too. So once you get more up here, this rolled over thing doesn't happen as much when you're higher on the neck. So just experiment with that. Let me show you up close. So the finger that's barring, you know, it's not like this. It's more like this. And these things you can observe. If you watch really good guitar players, you can observe these things. So usually most people you'll see, if they're playing well, it's kind of like that. There's kind of a curve there, okay, and it's on the side. It's not like that. And this finger here is, for me, is a little bit rolled to the side, and these two aren't rolled very much. So if, and I'm noticing my wrist is coming out. You want to try to keep your wrist as straight as you can. So here's another tip. This little adjustments like this, when you make your chord and you start squeezing and you try to get a good sound, and if you don't like it and you're making adjustments, if you're already squeezing, don't make those adjustments while you're squeezing. Shake out your hand and start over and put your fingers down where you think they need to go. Don't squeeze yet. Make, like, if you don't like where your wrist is, you want to have a straighter wrist, don't squeeze yet. Make your adjustments, then squeeze. Okay? Once you're squeezing, it's really hard to make those adjustments, and you probably won't do yourself any good if you're already squeezing. Okay, so let's see. Starting higher up the neck, try different frets, see if any of them are easier. We're rolled over to the side a little bit. You can also, if you're standing, oops, oh well, you won't see me if I stand. But anyway, if you pretend I'm standing, you can put on a strap and stand and tilt your guitar that way too. I actually have a lot of trouble with an injury here, and I find that standing is the healthiest way for me to play. I tend to have to go like that more when I'm sitting, and when I'm standing, I can play more without hurting myself. So have fun with the F chord. Please visit www.everyonecanjam.com and sign up for my email list so you'll know when I make a new video. And you can read the Brain blog there, and I'll be blogging about all kinds of things, about how everyone can learn to play music. Not just guitar, music. So see you next time.